You're all tied up in one person, like, oh, they are my be-all, end-all Christian, right?
Yeah.
If they mess up, we've seen people fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Yo, it's Marty.
And Fernie.
And you're listening to
The Trackstarz. You in the field with them.
Dang.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, SEANTANA, DJ Jeremiah. What's good? Make sure you go to trackstarz.com for all the latest. This show is brought to you by True Strength Apparel. I got the t-shirt on today. True Strength Apparel. Don't forget, Rick Sincere. Rick Sincere is actually performing at an event with one of our church partners, Vertical.
Yeah.
And it's called Burgers and Backpats. So they actually go out to English Avenue. So, you know, it's a tough little street in Atlanta, and they pass out food and stuff.
The bluff.
And we perform. We've done it every year. You guys know Pastor Damien. He was here, did a great show with us that one time. So that's his church. So if you want to support him, hit him up. But also Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Trackstarz, YouTube at The Field Trackstarz. What else? Snapchat, Trackstarz Radio. There's like 3 pictures on there. But we getting better with Snapchat. All right, so how y'all doing today? Y'all good?
Yeah, man.
You got One Guy Productions in the building.
1GP.
Holding it down by yourself, man.
Star.
How you doing?
That's right. Occasionally come down by myself, but yeah, I figured I'd come through and chill with you guys today.
That's what's up, man.
That's good, bro.
So today is Mike Sarge's day.
Yes.
Mike Sarge's album, Excuse the Honesty. Go get that right now.
That's
He's
the
the
song we
first.
started off with.
Yeah, first artist that we signed to Nectar Distribution. So go support, man. Go get that album. Go push that thing up the charts. And we're going to keep pushing. Also, we released a song.
Yeah, man.
Me and Rick Sincere, Paper Weapons.
Yeah,
so go
man.
check that out, too. That's for
Playing that soon.
that's for free download on SoundCloud, on the Trackstar SoundCloud, and mine as well. So, yeah, just keep supporting what we're doing, man. We're just trying to get stuff out there for you guys, trying to motivate people who are artistic to get busy and start helping the world. We need you right now, especially right now. So, all right, so today, Ryan isn't here, but you guys had a meeting. I wasn't on the meeting this week, but it seems like we've been getting a lot of questions about this. Why do Christians care so much about celebrities talking about Christ? Whenever a celebrity mentions Jesus, we get really, really excited.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know, man. That's one of my questions too. Like when I see people that they're trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? But when they mention it, it's like, oh, it's like a celebration happens in the church. You know what I mean? Like it's fireworks and stuff. So the thing is like, what is the excitement for? You should be excited that if anybody come to Jesus, but it just seems like if whoever the bad boy celebrity or whoever that celebrity is who got influence comes to the church or gets saved or whatever, or not even get saved, just start quoting scripture or talking about God, is a big deal.
Well, okay, so most logical answer is, well, I'm hoping is that you're excited because that person has a lot of influence.
Yeah.
And if they get saved or they start getting more serious about God, then they may influence a lot of other people. Isn't that the answer?
But sometimes they lose people too. I've seen that before where somebody of a celebrity gets saved and they start losing folks. They start like people start like
but,
I don't want to do that.
But you don't lose all of them.
You don't.
So the people you don't lose, maybe they'll hear about Jesus.
It's a double-edged sword because it's a possibility that it could happen where people could come and be like, hey, you know, I need to know who God is because you know who God is. Or it could be one of those things where it's like, oh, that's nice. I still like your music, but he's a Christian now. You know what I mean?
I guess here's the question. How much do people really care about your life? Because are we assuming that if Jay-Z gets saved tomorrow and he's like, man, Jesus is the only way to heaven, that like thousands of people are going to be like, you know what? I'm going to do that too.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It just depends on how much the influence they got on their people. If they're one of those people where it's like, if my life is contained by Jay-Z and whatever Jay-Z says I do,
but is that even good? Are they really following Jesus or are they following Jay-Z?
Into Jesus. They probably following more Jay-Z, like as he's doing what he's doing. But that's like anything. I mean, if you think about it, in high school, whatever the popular kid did in high school, a lot of people followed him, or her. So whatever they did, people was like naturally behind them. So,
but doesn't this set you up for something? So, and this goes for non-celebrities or local celebrities, like pastors, right?
Yeah.
If you are a Christian because they're a Christian, if they fall, what happens to you?
Yeah.
And we've seen this happen, right?
Yeah.
If you're all tied up in one person, like, oh, they are my be-all, end-all Christian, right?
Yeah.
If they mess up, we've seen people fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah, that's true.
So do you really have faith in Jesus, or is your faith in that person?
Well, it seems like it's more that person, but at the same time, it could be somewhere where you lead somebody to meet Christ, they get saved, and then they go on their own and start to learn and know more about Jesus.
That's what we're hoping. Right?
That's what the hope is. Yeah. But I think the thing is, I also think is that at times we still want that fame. We still desire fame. We still desire to be one, or not even, or maybe seen, but desire to have those things that celebrity is offering.
But now that goes on the other side, right? So us as artists, there's a subtle motivation to become famous.
Yeah.
Because we think if we become famous, then we can reach more people, and then they'll follow us.
Yeah.
Is that authentic, or is that just masking selfish ambition?
What's up, Star? What you think, man?
Man, I think it's a popularity thing. Like, we always want to follow the most popular person, or we always want to get the shiniest thing. And so, like, when you see somebody that's successful, a lot of times we get it confused, because it's like, okay, because they're successful, anything that comes out of their mouth is going to be for success. Yeah. So if I got a lot of money and I tell you how I got a lot of money, you're going to listen to that. But if you like everything else going on in my life, I'm like, okay, what else he got? What else can I follow that he has? So I think it's a popularity thing. I think it's based off your success. The more popular you are, the more successful you appear, the more people listen to you. And you're going to have people, I think it's 50-50. I think you're going to have people that do it because you did it, and along the road they might, change or find themselves within that. Yeah. Then you got people, who just continue it. So it's just different. Like, I think some people can really, like, for real, like, follow Christ after somebody does that. Yeah. And then you got other people who just following the person. So I think it's a 50-50 thing. So.
Now, this isn't a new problem, right? I mean, if you read the Bible, Paul, Apollos, people were confused about, some were like, well, I got baptized by this guy, I got baptized by that guy, and they were bragging about who they're following. Yeah. And Paul was like, I don't provide salvation, like Jesus does that. Yeah. So there was a celebrity thing going on with John the Baptist. People were like, well, are you with John or are you with Jesus? And John had to be like, and I think that's the responsibility, right? If you are this celebrity Christian, your responsibility is to make sure that you don't start reveling in the fact that these people like you, and you are quick to say, this is not about me, it's about him. Don't get tied up in me, I'm nobody. Yeah. But if you stop doing that.
But how do you, as a Christian celebrity, how do you stop giving people to say, like, because another thing is like role models. People are looking for role models. They're looking for parents are looking for role models for their children. They're looking for somebody to look up to. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because, I mean, of course you look up to God or you praise God and you worship God, but you like, I need somebody here to be like, I could set my example to. You know what I mean? So I think that's the question, is like, how does a Christian quote unquote celebrity balance, like, I could be a role model for people, but then also I still need to learn how to show people to Jesus because I'm flawed myself. Yeah. So how do you do that?
What you think, man?
I think at the end of the day, the Bible consistently talks about humble is the route. So even it doesn't, I think as a Christian artist or a Christian celebrity, you just don't focus on it really. You act like you never make it. You act like you never you're never the big person. You always stay humble in it, and you just ride the wave, man. You just, God sends the waves. God sends that stuff, and you just ride it. And no matter how high the wave get, you just ride on it. And so I think that's the only way you can be successful in that, because there's too many people that fall off when they focus on being a role model too much, focus on themselves too much. So yeah.
Are we really humble? Are our Christian celebrities really humble? And are we really humble? Have we really evaluated that?
I mean, I'm only just speak for me. I'm humble right now. I think at times we have those moments where humility looks good to us, but in that moment, we can have a prideful moment. You know what I mean? I'm talking about that's anybody that's dealing in a spotlight. If you're on the stage, if you're on a film or whatever you're doing, even as a Christian, sometimes that crosses your mind of, you know, you're doing something so good and people compliment you like, yo, the Trackstarz are good. This is good. That's good. Sean, you did this. You're doing that. Jeremiah, you're doing this. You're doing that. I love Lama Lama. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that could be a pride booster for you until someday somebody just pops that bubble and then your humility again. You become you.
Well, and I think that's the real question is, let's be honest. I mean, as even just as rappers, you put out a song, you're like, this is about to, this is hot, right? I mean, like that's what you're feeling. You're like, you checking the likes, the mentions. Like, I want to, let's see. Yeah. Let's see if they get it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's the attitude. Or, you know, you start rising up a chart or you start becoming more notable. Yeah. You start being like, yeah, I'm better than so. Like, don't we do that? Yeah. Like I just inside our own hearts. Yeah. How do we get that out? Because I think it's there. Almost everybody.
I think the way you get it out is like, I think you just really have to like stay before the Lord, honestly. I think that's the best thing is like stay before God and ask him to cleanse your heart so that you don't. You know what I mean? Like when you know, like I think everybody in here knows a rapper that is like, yo, that dude is a Christian rapper that dude is good. Yeah. And I wonder how does he or she like process that? Like how do you say amongst your peers that like I'm better than you, you know, or don't say I'm better than you. Yeah. You're saying like, how can I lift that person up because all these other people are lifting me up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the real fear is that you're getting these compliments. You may not feel like you're being prideful, but the fear is that the compliments will go away. Yeah, that's what most people. Yeah. That's when you realize, oh man, I did appreciate that a little too much. Yeah. How do you combat this? It's almost like part of the process. Almost it seems like, especially for rappers. Like,
I think God shows you. He shows you. You know when you like going too far, and he shows you something like, hey, you going too far. He shows you, and I think at those moments, it just feels so good that you're bypassing what he's showing you. You know what I mean? But I think he shows you every time the way is like, yo, that's a prideful statement. That's prideful. Yeah. What you're thinking is not right. You know what I mean? I think he shows you those things, but I just think you don't look at them because you're in the moment and you want to feel good in the moment.
Yeah, and I think the truth is there's no way I can prove to you that I'm not being prideful. Yeah. I just put out a song yesterday. There's no way I can act humble. Yeah. That conversation is between me and Jesus. Yeah. Like that. Those are things that I can tell myself. Like Jeremiah may think I'm one of the best people in the world, but he has no idea if I'm like, I'm trying to see if you're gonna play this song today. You know what I mean? I'm trying to see if Jeremiah is gonna play my song today. Da da da. You have no idea. I could act right in front of everybody, but that issue is inside your heart, and it's like it's a battle. And I mean, even the best of the best of the best, still have to check it because even me, I'm like, okay, am I gonna be disappointed if people don't like it? Am I gonna be disappointed if I put this song out that I spent a long time to create and nobody says nothing about it and it disappears? You know what I mean? Like everybody feels it.
I think but that's the difference that we have between us in the world is like they're looking for validation when we're like Christ should be our validation. So if God is like give you those lyrics to share that, we should be like okay, God, if you validated this, then this is good, regardless of what anybody say. Right. That's the thing that we fight the most is because we are still human.
But you know why though? The validation, you assume that if he approves of it, it'll do well. Yeah. If he doesn't approve of it, it won't do well. Yeah. If I'm doing well, he must have approved of it. Yeah. If I'm not doing well, they hating or you know what I mean? Like there's always something going on in your heart that those are the conversations happening in here. Yeah. How do you fight it? And then for the fan, how do you fight giving them the praise for this? Like if somebody spits a hot verse, you're gonna be like, yo, so and so is sick. I'm gonna go to this concert, I'm gonna da. But at the end of the day, that's not the point, right? Is it?
I mean,
is that the point of this, or is it to be like, What is the point of this?
Yeah. I mean,
Why are we doing this?
rapping itself is it's competitive, man, and I think it needs to be that way. I feel like you need a competitive drive. I think you need something to make you go harder, to go stronger.
Yeah.
And my pastor always taught me that private battles bring public victories, and so like I've seen preachers in moments where they just feeling it all up in the Holy Spirit and just be like, yeah, I'm preaching way better than y'all clapping right now. Say something like that. But it's like, it's real. It's real at the moment. Like, they that serious, like, you got to give God some praise. So I think at the end of the day, you kind of need that. You kind of need that. And I think
and that's the hard thing and this has been the battle with Christians for a long time. Yeah. It's been, bring your praise to the Lord, but you sound terrible. Yeah. So how do we make this better without you getting a big head? That's been the battle for. We've been doing this for 11 years now. How do you help people get better, and then when they get better, how do you keep them from having a big head? That's hard to do with Christians because your motivation. You can't just be like, "This is about the money. This is about me." Yeah. You're not. That's not allowed.
Yeah. I think it's a hard one because your motives can start off pure when you're doing something for God, and then when you finally do it and it's out there, and then like you feel like it could turn easily. Yeah, you know what I mean. It could start off pure, but then it could just turn wicked. Yeah, it can go left anywhere.
Yeah, and then the next challenge is when you need people to buy your album because this is your job. That's another challenge because it's like you have to buy this now. Yeah. So how do I stay at this level? You know what I mean? Like, you have to stay there. Yeah. Financially. Yeah. So there's several challenges as a Christian artist, but how do you, because there's two sides of this. How do you support a person without praising them? And how do you be that person and keep the mission, the focus?
I think we mix up praise and compliments. Yeah. Like, I can give him a compliment without praising him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that's where we mess it up. Like, you should be able to give anybody a compliment if they're doing something excellent or doing well. Right. Praise is when I have your picture on my wall. Praise is like I'm on your website every day. Praise is like I'm making what is Star doing? I need to know what Star doing. Yeah.
But that's what drives the industry though.
Yeah. And sometimes, and the sad thing is, you're starting to see it in the Christian industry with certain people, like you got to see this, or people like putting them on pedestals, or you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't think we're made for that. We're not made for being praised.
But then this goes back to the original question. What does influence mean? If you become a celebrity, does just being influential, is that saving anybody? Because that's what we're assuming, right? That's why we're doing this. We're trying to become popular so that more people will listen to us, so that we can tell them about Jesus, and then they'll get saved. That's the formula that it seems like we're following.
That's the formula, but that doesn't always work. I think the good thing is even if that doesn't work, you still have people that can listen to something and say, hey, I may not agree with them guys, but they have positive message. So I would send anybody that needs some positivity, I'm gonna send them their way. And then you don't know who they're gonna send our way that could say, hey, I want Jesus. You know what I mean?
So
but it's a hard balance.
But what it shows is that the people that we're sending out here need to be all the way right at the core. Yeah. And because it takes somebody who's all the way right to get praise and say, this is not mine. Yeah, this is not for me.
Or even if they do get praised, and they even in that moment they feel it. They feeling the praise. They feeling everything. They could come back and say, "I was wrong."
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah. That's a big one. Yeah. Can you admit to people that I was enjoying your praise too much? I don't hear that a lot. Yeah. Remember back in Passion days when we used to be a part of Passion. And I remember there was a time when Chris Tomlin and I don't know if it was Crowder or Matt Redman or somebody, Louis Giglio brought them on stage and they said they had an argument backstage and they want to come out and tell you that they were being prideful and they were squashing this. They were arguing over, and they did that in front of Passion. Yeah. And I was like, whoa, that's big. It takes a big person to be that popular and to say, I have pride problems. Yeah. And I'm admitting it. I'm sorry. Yeah. And I'm fighting with my brother because he had more time on stage than me or whatever. I don't see anybody doing that. Is that what it takes to be like, hey guys, I'm sorry, I have a problem here and I'm working on it.
Yeah, I think that would. I think that would. I think anytime you put something in the light that shines, then everybody knows, like, yo, that's what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
So that's how I could pray for them and stuff.
So I don't know. Hopefully, well, I think the intention is good, but we just need to reevaluate this influence thing. How much is influence worth?
Yeah.
So y'all keep talking. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, SEANTANA, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.